Hey everyone, like I said from last week's video, here's my thick tori Paitan Tsukemen stock. I'm glad every time I do decide to make some ramen, I always see improvements, and this is no exception, as it is the best Paitan stock I've ever made. Can you believe it's all done with some leftover bones as well? Here's my gallon bag of leftover rotisserie chicken bones and pork shoulder bones from previous dinners I've hosted for friends. Whenever one of these bags gets full, I decide to make some stock for ramen because it helps clear out my freezer. I also had some chicken wings left over from my barbecue, so I'll add these in the stock as well for extra gelatin. Fill up your stock pot with water until all the bones and wings are covered. I also want to preface that you don't need to specifically use chicken wings. Chicken feet work just as well for gelatin, but I just had these chicken wings lying around in my freezer. Start heating up your stock pot until it starts to come to a boil like this, and we'll start skimming off our scum. Nothing new to this process you ever saw in my previous stock videos. For those who are new, we want to skim off the scum as it will make our stock not as white and it can muddy it up. Honestly, this is very present in a lot of Asian cooking as gamier types of meat tend to have a particular smell, and this is one way to get rid of it. I also want to point out that the skin part of the pork belly is also in the stock pot as I was making both the chashu and the stock at the same time. After you're done skimming off the scum, we're going to let this boil for a good 4 hours while occasionally using a spoon or even tongs to push down on the bones. This will further break them down and release more gelatin and flavor, and with the constant boil will help emulsify all that fat and flavor together, thereby creating a cloudier stock. It's pretty synonymous with tonkotsu, even though this is mostly a mixed animal stock. After the 4 hours are up, I'm going to add in 2 potatoes to the stock. I'm going to boil this for 15 to 30 minutes until the potatoes are falling apart. When we get to that point, get out your stick blender and we will blitz this stock. Everything will be grinded up, including the potatoes, and this helps thicken up your soup. Without the potatoes, you need a lot of bones for a thick stock. The reason it's so thick is because a lot of the water has evaporated, so most of the flavor and gelatin is concentrated in whatever liquid you have left. The potatoes is a cheating way to get it thick in a home kitchen setup because, we're not really running a shop. When you finish blitzing up your soup, put it back on the stove and insert your aromatics. I use some scallions, a knob of ginger, and onion. We'll let this boil for another 30 minutes, and after the 30 minutes have passed, insert a piece of kombu. I use 10 grams in this case and continue to boil again for another 30 minutes. Finally, shut off the heat and add in equal parts and weight of katsuboshi, which is 10 grams, and let this sit for another 15 minutes. We're almost at the finish line. Last step we have to do is strain this soup through a sieve, and this is an umami-packed stock that I can probably say is easily better than the majority of the average ramen shops in New York City, and I will stand by this. The next day, you can see how the stock looks after it cools down. This layer of fat on top you don't have to worry about, as the rolling boil and using your stick blender just before will help emulsify it back into the stock. To prepare your tsukemen, add in 30 grams of tori, then boil your noodles. I prefer to make my own noodles for tsukemen as the noodles are the star of the dish. Strain them, place them in a bowl, add in 200 grams of soup, and then proceed to put the toppings on your noodles in your stock bowl, and then enjoy. You deserve it after all this hard work. Oh, before I forget to mention, add in a lime as well because it helps cut through all the richness of the broth, and this is honestly one of the best ramen bowls I made to date, so it's always nice to improve on the craft. You don't even need to make tsukemen, as I also made a regular bowl of ramen like this one with the leftover stock the next day, so give it a shot and let me know what you think. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and follow my Instagram at WeCanCooks. Thanks for the support.